Before we dive into this story, we want you to become part of this community. Subscribe now, hit that like button, and tell us in the comments which song from this artist is your personal favorite. Now, let's uncover the secret. He looked like he had it all. Crowds singing every line, critics praising his presence, a bright, unforgettable smile that became a postcard for an entire island. But behind that glow lived a man carrying a deep restlessness. From an early age, he felt out of place. On the poor farmland where he was born, in the chaotic capital that swallowed him as a teenager during exhausting European tours, in the hands of record labels trying to mold him, and even within the religions he turned to for protection, one question followed him everywhere, sharp and painful. Who am I when the lights go out? The public saw the star. Very few ever saw the man struggling with silent crises, frustrations he never voiced, and a persistent sense of not belonging anywhere. He rose to global fame, but long before that, he faced slammed doors, humiliation, rejection, and an inner war that almost made him abandon music altogether. His public life looked like a victory parade. His private life was a battlefield. At the peak of his career, he made a shocking decision, one that changed not only the direction of his own life, but also the future of reggae itself. A choice that still raises questions today. Why would someone on the verge of becoming the defining face of a genre suddenly walk away from the path laid at his feet? That boy was James Chambers, born on July 30th, 1944, in the rural district of Somerton, Jamaica. He grew up in Adelphi lands, raised by his father, a tailor and small farmer. His mother left early, and he and his siblings learned hardship from childhood, working young, eating little, and dreaming of a world far beyond their tiny village. As a teenager, he knew he didn't want to grow old in the fields. He asked his father for permission, packed almost nothing, and left for Kingston with one hope: to survive through music. But the capital didn't welcome him with open arms. He slept in cramped rooms, went hungry, and knocked on the doors of countless record labels only to be turned away again and again. Until one day, he insisted on singing for producer Leslie Kong, owner of a small shop called Beverly's. Kong heard the spark, saw the potential, and took a chance on the young dreamer. From that partnership came his first national hit, Hurricane Hattie, recorded when he was barely more than a boy. It was then that James adopted the name that would travel across the world, Jimmy Cliff. The 1960s pushed him onto the international stage. He broke through with songs like Wonderful World, Beautiful People, a message of optimism during turbulent times, You Can Get It If You Really Want, an anthem of perseverance, and Many Rivers to Cross, written at a moment when he felt completely lost emotionally, returning from Europe and questioning whether continuing was even worth it. That song wasn't just a classic, it was a personal cry for help turned into art. But the biggest turning point in his career came with cinema. He agreed to star in an independent Jamaican film called The Harder They Come. He played a young man from the countryside who moves to the capital chasing success, only to be crushed by a violent and unjust system. The story felt like a mirror of his own life, the shock of Kingston, the struggles, the exploitation, the hunger for recognition. The film became a global cult phenomenon and turned Jimmy Cliff into the face of modern Jamaica. Behind the scenes, however, something troubled him deeply. His label planned to transform him into a romanticized outlaw, the international rebel face of reggae. It was a profitable strategy, but completely disconnected from who he truly was. He felt manipulated, boxed in, and trapped under unfair contracts. When he realized he was losing control over his own identity as an artist, he made a drastic decision. He cut ties with the label. That choice changed everything. The producer who had been preparing him to become the global ambassador of reggae turned his attention toward another rising group, the Wailers, led by Bob Marley. While Marley stepped into the spotlight and became the universal symbol of reggae, Jimmy Cliff followed a freer but riskier path, diving into musical experimentation and fighting fiercely for artistic independence. Freedom came at a cost, but he accepted it. His inner restlessness also showed in his spiritual journey. Raised Christian, he later embraced Rastafarianism, then Islam, and explored various spiritual traditions. At times, he even adopted a different name. He spoke openly about his lifelong search for identity, faith, and purpose. During one tour, he faced a traumatic experience when he was jailed in Nigeria after a dishonest promoter involved him in shows he had never agreed to. The incident left a deep scar and later inspired the song The News. Despite all the turbulence, Jimmy Cliff kept building an extraordinary body of work. In the 1980s, he won a Grammy. In the 1990s, he returned to the charts with I Can See Clearly Now, immortalized in the film Cool Runnings. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2010, received Jamaica's highest cultural honor, and released critically respected albums in the 21st century. To many, he was a living legend. To him, he was simply a man trying to do good through music. On November 24, 2025, Jimmy Cliff passed away at the age of 81 in Kingston after suffering a seizure that led to pneumonia. The news spread across the world, leaving a nation in mourning. It wasn't just the farewell of a brilliant artist. It was the loss of a man who lived his doubts, his crises, and his many crossings with intensity, and who paid a high price for the courage to stay true to himself. The impact of this artist will live forever. His legacy will live forever. If you enjoyed this deep analysis, help us share this story, spread this video, and don't forget to subscribe so we can continue uncovering the hidden truths behind the world of music.